Hi, my name is Sudipta, and today we will start your English syllabus with the poem My Mother at 66. It was written by Kamla Das. Now remember, first things first. No matter whatever the pattern of your question paper is, you will always be asked this question, name the poet. Okay? So be it for this poem or any other poem, just remember all the poets. You'll always get this question. So for this one, it's Kamla Das. Now, Kamla Das here has very maturely dealt with a very sweet theme. The theme for this poem, or the central idea on which this poem is based, is the basic fear of every child, separation from his or her parents. Yeah? So, in this poem, Kamla Das talks about a grown parent, a parent who has grown really old, and a child who's not so much a child anymore, a grown up woman, but who is still afraid to lose her mother, right? So we'll start with the poem. Now, the best way to deal with poems is that you read them line by line. Otherwise, no matter what explanation I tell you, you will not understand. So let's go line by line. My Mother at 66. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. So this gives us a very nice setting, okay? What's happening? What's the main idea of action? That it's inside a car. The poet is driving from her parents' home to Cochin airport, okay? Doors open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Now, here is that we head towards the central idea. She looks at her mother. How is her mother presented? She is there with her mouth dozed open. She has fallen asleep. She's sitting right next to her in the passenger seat, and her mouth is open, and she looks really pale, like ashen. All color has been drained out of her skin, and she is as lifeless as a corpse. That means she has no energy at all. Firstly, she's sleeping, so of course, even then, in her sleep, she has lost all her energy, her color. So this tells her that she is really old. But soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, worn pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache. Okay, so here these few lines that I have just read, they are full of imageries. Okay, the first imagery is her comparison with the young children. To put that thought away that her mother is lifeless, she's lying just next to her like a lifeless corpse, and she is all out of energy. To put that thought away, Kamla Das, or the poet, she looks out of her car window, and what does she see? She sees young children merrily spilling out of their homes. Now, this is a very sweet contrast because it portrays the energy that the young children have. And how is it a contrast? Because the mother inside the car has no energy. Yeah, so it's a contrast. It's a comparison and a contrast. Then she's talking about trees sprinting. Now, this is personification. What do you mean by personification? When you attribute a humanly characteristic or a humanly action to an inanimate or a non-human thing. Now, even though trees are living beings, but they are not humans, right? So, to attribute the characteristics of sprinting, now what is sprinting? Sprinting is a sport. It's a short race, right? So, telling that the trees can run, it's personification. And why are the trees running? Now, she's going like this in the car, and the trees are rooted. So, when she's moving at a speed, it looks like the trees are sprinting backwards. That's why it's a personification. That's why it looks as if the trees are sprinting. Okay? And the merry children spilling out of their homes, but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her worn pale as a late winter's moon and felt that old familiar ache. Okay, now what do we mean by worn? Worn is when the moon is reducing. Moon goes through two cycles, one of increasing and one of decreasing, right? हिंदी में हम इसे शुक्ल पक्ष और कृष्ण पक्ष कहते हैं. So, इसमें कृष्ण पक्ष में है मून. That means it is decreasing. It has reached its zenith. It has been full. It has been a full moon, but now it is decreasing towards no moon. So that what she is saying, that her mother, she has reached the zenith of her life, and now she is only deteriorating from there. She has reached an age from where she is just degenerating. Okay. Familiar ache. Now again, see, this is the basic climax of a poem. That ache, that familiar ache, which each and every child has ever felt, that they will lose their parents. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Now, even though she had this ache in her heart, or there was this pain that she had, that she was thinking all through her drive, but she did not let her mother know that. It would have worried her mother. So she thought it's better to keep it to her own self. So what did she do? She just smiled and smiled and smiled. Right? The first smile was a courteous one to bid farewell to her mother. The second smile meant that, she was conveying to her mother that everything is normal, nothing is changing, I'm fine, I'm okay. And the third smile here means that she is reassuring herself that no matter what, this is not the last time I'm seeing my mother. I will see my mother again. Yeah, you get it? So, it is just that. It's just as simple as that. And here we are done with your poem. Now, if you get the question, what are the thematic concerns, or what is the theme, or what is the central idea, you have to build your idea on just a few words. The childhood fear of separation. That's it. You say that and it's done. Now it depends on for how much marks do you get it, that you build your idea and you give examples from the poem. That is why it is always necessary that you read your poem. You give your answers, you choose your words, you choose your imageries, your metaphors, everything from the poem. That is why always read them. Now let's come to poetic devices. Now what are the major poetic devices used here? Firstly, we did personification. Trees sprinting. That was personification. Secondly, we come to simile. Now what is a simile? A simile is a basic comparison between two things, and we make sure that whenever we are using simile, we use the word as and like. Okay, if we are using the words as and like in a comparison, then it's a simile. Now, here we see doors open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. This is a simile. Ashen like that of a corpse. We use the word like over here, right? And the next one is as a late winter's moon. Here she is telling that the mother is degenerating, she is deteriorating, she has passed the zenith of her life, she has lived many moons of her life. So she's comparing her life to the life of moon, and she's using as over here. That is why it is a simile. Now for metaphor. Metaphor here is young trees sprinting and the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now this whole thing, it's a comparison, contrast, imagery and metaphor. It is everything. It's a very important line, so remember that. Okay. Now let's get to the tone of the poem. The tone of the poem is something that conveys the mood of the poem. It tells you about how to approach the poem. Now for this one, there are two words that describe the tone of this poem. The first one is pensive. Now what is pensive? Pensive means where you are in deep thought. We see that while she's driving, she's thinking all the way, right? So that is why it's pensive. She's thinking of her fear. She is fighting her fear in her thoughts. So everything she does is pensive. And the second word that describes the tone of this poem is sorrowful. The tone is very, very sad. She has a fear that she might lose her mother. So these two words describe the mood of the poem, aka the tone of the poem. With that, we have reached the conclusion of our poem. It's a very short one. You don't have to read much between the lines in this one. And yeah, we are done. Let's hope to see you soon again. Bye.